Hazel's just making noise in the background. Probably should also get music for this little thingy thing. When was my last live stream? Let's find out. August 6th. Jeez. Been 4 months. Yeah, that's about right. Hey, puppy. Been about 4 months. 4 months since the lads have seen us. I didn't do an audio check. YouTube's changed live streaming since I last did it, so it's weird. Here, let me pull it up. I'll do an audio check, then we'll get started. Not gonna wait too long. If this was for viewership or whatever, I'd give more of a shit about waiting. Changed live streaming since I last did it, so yeah, we sound fine. Weird. Yeah, normally I'd wait a little longer for people to show up, but I turned ads off for this. It's not monetized because I don't know how long we're gonna stream, so it's just kind of a vibes thing. So if people are watching this back later, the VOD, they won't have any ads. Hooray. So yeah, I have 2 things I want to say. One's silly, one's serious, and then we'll get into what we're streaming today. Serious not being bad, just serious. Yeah, we're streaming. This is part 2 of the return plan. So part 1 was content. Y'all have been seeing videos drip out for a while. Haven't seen videos for a little bit. Nothing's wrong. Just on the America side, we have Thanksgiving. So I was traveling a little bit, seeing some family, and then my family's having some early Christmases this week. Because most people are busy on the actual holiday. So this weekend I'm busy, and then the rest of December I'm pretty free. So you might get a couple videos this week here and there, and then next week it should be more consistent, more regular. Yeah, so just been busy, nothing bad. I'll read chat in a second. The other thing I wanted to say is, so I have a lot of anxiety right now, and part of it, I'll get an anxiety game for like a video game to play while I eat if I'm feeling anxious, but I still got to eat my food, you know? So I load up a Total War campaign because I'm like, you know what, a DLC came out. I haven't played a campaign in like 3 or 4 months. I'll load up the new Wolfric the Wanderer campaign. Holy shit. All right. Lizardmen are cracked right now. What the fuck? So Wolfric spawns down in Lustria, and you can opt to stay home, yada yada, whatever. I load in and I go, you know what? Take out these New World colonists. Fuck the Lizardmen too. I'm taking out those Lizardmen. Charge Mazdamundi. I have an army of just marauders, like nothing fancy at all. And Mazda rolls up with 2 armies full of Saurus, and then an army of skinks backing him up. So he has 320 stacks at turn, like honestly 7. I get shit rocked. I get knocked out. He kills all my stuff. I'm out of the campaign. I'm like, all right, reload. This time, don't fight Mazdamundi right away. Wait to get some units. So I take out Skeggy, confederate them. Mazda declares war on me very quickly. I'm like, all right, I didn't want that, but we're ready. I have 220 stacks of like marauders and shit. He shows up with 320 stacks of Saurus and a skink army backing him up. I still get my shit rocked. I still lose. I'm like, all right, don't fuck with Mazdamundi. Load up for the 3rd time in like an hour. Like, this has been an hour. Load up for the 3rd time. Let's go south instead. Mazda calls me and he says, hey, you, I want to kill you. And I'm like, no, here's a settlement. Here's a settlement I don't even want. And Mazda's like, oh, thanks for the settlement. I won't kill you. 3 or 4 turns later, he comes back and he's like, yeah, I'm going to kill you anyway. Shows up, rolls my shit, kills me. Got it. Cool. All right. 4th run. I just want to play some goddamn Wolfric. I don't want to deal with the Lizardmen. I'll hold it in the back of my head. I'll hold that spite in the back of my noggin, keep it as a memory, and later in the campaign, I will go and destroy the Lizardmen. But for now, I'm going to take the deal at the start where you can go back to Norsca, right? So I go back to Norsca, I use Seafang to teleport there. I don't do anything besides take the first colony, the colony of the new moon or whatever. So I meet Mazdamundi there. He declares war on me like 6 turns in, takes the monument of the moon. I don't think anything about it. I didn't give a shit. So I'm up in Norsca fighting, trying to get some boys together, confederating, just doing the old Norsca campaign pretty much. And like 20, 30 turns later, I get a siege notification on my main settlement. I'm like, what? I look back, and Mazdamundi with 520 stacks is sitting outside my capital, blowing it up. I'm like, bro, fucking chill. What is your deal? So the lizardmen rampage across Norsca, deleting me from the face of the earth. They wiped me out again for the 4th time in this point around 5 hours. In 5 hours, the lizardmen have TPK'd me on a campaign 4 times. And one of them was in Norsca, and I was like, holy shit. The campaign code for the AI has definitely changed since I played a campaign. Because these lizardmen are aggressive. They are sick of my shit. All right. You sound like an angel. What up, Segos? Hey, Sunset. Skill issue, don't play a warm blood. Yeah. Bonjour. All right, let's cast some video games. That's what people are really here for. So I have a screen blocker up, right? Yeah, it's Miss Hazel. Life got busy. Life got hectic. Life got crazy. You're going to see in these games, if you look closely, development in progress down in the corner. That is a lie. That is not true. This patch is out. I just had to revert to the beta for the replays to work correctly because these were played on the beta. We had a mini tournament for content. I just didn't get around to streaming it in time for the DLC to come out. But it's the patch you're all playing on. The games are still relevant. So we had just a small bracket. I'm not even going to put it up here. I had myself and Blood Penguin versus each other. Then we had Catholic Alcoholic and Ronin versus each other. And then whoever won went to the finals and faced whoever won on the other side. We did do Conquest, Domination, and Land Battles. So the second game will always be Domination. And if there is a tiebreaker, it'll be Land Battles. So just doing some mixed content. Again, this was supposed to be streamed before the DLC came out, so just kind of showing off the units and trying to play both game modes so that everybody who's curious about everything gets what they want. But again, games are still relevant. Let's get started. So game 1, me versus Blood Penguin. I took the new fancy schmancy high elves. They fancy, they schmancy, they high elves, high elves. So my idea here, I wanted to try the ship's company. I wanted to try an aggressive high elf build versus the Empire. Oh. Wow. That struggled to load in, but we seem to be doing okay now. I wonder if it's not happy. I went back to the beta after like 3 patches have happened. Anyway. So my idea was to get a little bit aggressive. I have a ship's company and Spearman Frontline, also the ROR ship's company, the company of Calendrian. 2 Shadow Warriors, which, okay, Blood Penguin and I talked about this. He saw my Shadow Warriors all game. They were never stocked. So these Shadow Warriors have a tough time. Now, right now, they're in range, they're shooting, they're revealing themselves, but we'll get to that a little later. Then I have some archers to back me up, just have some extra money. And then I had 4 Silver Helms and 2 Rangers, and Archmage and Metal with Plague of Rust to try and help my Silver Helms get through the Empire's heavy armor. So we are just going with a man-tide using the new ship's company. On the other side, as you can see clearly, 3 Hawkland long rifles, including the Hergig Jaeger Corps, are deleting my Shadow Warriors who are running away. Balthasar Gelt with Final Transmutation. Then we have Nuln Ironsides, the Silver Bullets, some Swordsmen and Spearmen, and very few cavalry from Blood Penguin, which I'm not used to. He's usually a cavalry guy. 1 Demigryph Knight with Halberd and 2 Empire Knights. So it's a very infantry-heavy game from both teams. My Shadow Warrior's back here, by the way. He could still totally see them. I decided to stop trying to hide, and I just end up firing at Balthasar Gelt, doing what I can, but we were in voice chat at the time. He's like, yeah, I can still see your Shadow Warriors all the way back there. Archers get in range and they're firing up over the Hawk and Long Rifles. My cavalry is waiting. I have 1 on each flank to stop the Empire Knights from getting back to my archers, and then I have 2 in the front line just waiting for the ship's company to collide, because I was going to send them over the top, but the impact damage on these swordsmen was very minimal, so I didn't actually break through like I wanted to, so now my Silver Helms are just stuck in front of Nuln Ironsides. Meanwhile, Demigryph Knights with Halberds break through the front. I have to get some Silver Helms here to stop them in place, and I do chuck down a Plague of Rust Overcast and hit them with all the archers I can. though these archers are also getting lit up by those Hawk and Long Rifles, and I really need to get back onto his back line and shut them down. So early fight is going pretty good for the Empire. Swordsman doing super well against the ship's company. I didn't expect that, though now that I've looked at their stat lines, like, it makes more sense as I have more Silver Helms colliding over the top. They get kind of half enveloped on the Swordsman, half shutting down these Null and Iron sides as Hawk and Long Rifles turn towards me. But yeah, the Empire holding on the front line was not on my bingo cards. Things are not going according to plan. I do YOLO into Balthasar Gelt with my mage. Now, we're both mages, but I'm a high elf, so I have better combat stats. I should get the upper hand in this, and he seems to realize it, running away. Archers recouping, coming to the fight, and start firing over the top as the Hurricane Jaeger Corps once again side up my poor Shadow Warriors who have done nothing but get shot all game. Balance of power is looking about as bad as I feel, though. My infantry rush is not getting through the Empire State troops as effectively as I would want it to. My Silver Helms were not nearly as helpful at getting through that front line either as I would have wanted them to be. And my back line got absolutely murdered by the Hurricane Jaeger Corps. So, like, we kind of lost on every front. That's just a pretty bad time. All right. So we learned, ship's company, not the best aggressive infantry. They're good units. I'm not complaining about them, but don't try and use them as aggressive infantry because, sure, they're beating these spearmen, but it's taking them 3 minutes to beat those spearmen, and meanwhile, everything's going to shit. My archers get run down. I have no idea why my Shadow Warriors could literally never stalk. Penguin and I were both laughing about it, but it didn't matter. It's not like my Shadow Warriors maybe stalking for like a combined 10 seconds this game would have saved them anything. But it was just funny. Good afternoon, Ratman. How's it going? It's going okay. It's going okay. Pretty anxious. Sorry, reading chat. Empire Spearman got predatory senses. They're an apex predator. Yeah, no, like I was saying, my plan, it was just a bad plan, like, on reflection. Now that I know how the ship's company perform against state troops, it's like, okay, they're not going to break through. Spearmen definitely aren't going to break through. I brought those for Cav. Rangers, I mean, they can kind of break through, but they're Rangers, you all know them. So my front line, I'm putting a lot of money into blockers, and I'm blocking for, like, 3 Archers and 2 Shadow Warriors, which are outranged by the Empire. And then my Silver Helms, they did it okay, but they didn't do good at linebackers. So it's like I essentially brought like an entire roster of defenders for 3 archers, which just isn't enough DPS to win. So rip. I was treating ship's company as if they were Marauder Berserkers in my mind because I'm stupid, and of course they're not. They're 400 gold high elf infantry. They're not going to like murder people and get through. So, you know, sometimes you make the big fuck ups when you're using brand new units. For Blood Penguin, his Empire did everything he wanted them to do. His Null and Iron sides were actually very annoying. For a unit I constantly shit on at every opportunity, they were just a nuisance. One paid for itself, the other one didn't. But this is the one I wrapped up in Silver Helms, and it just didn't die. So my Silver Helms were stuck holding them in place instead of getting onto the Hawk and Long Rifles. But I also couldn't ignore them. I couldn't just walk past them and get shot in the ass the whole time. So it's kind of a lose-lose there. Rip. All right, block her up so y'all don't get spoilers. What up, Chosen of Assyrian? This has be. Ironsides are all right. I still don't think they're a very good unit, but Penguin beat me with them right there, so yeah. We're on the back foot. Y'all know I'm not a domination superstar. And Blood Penguin plays in a lot of Turin's tournaments, so I'm a little on the back foot here. But we can clutch up, because we got Bellicor. Warriors of Chaos versus Beastmen. Domination time. So my starting army, I thought Bellicor would be great. He seems to have everything the Beastmen wouldn't want. Dark Master can completely delete a Centaur because Beastmen rely on momentum, and with only 27 natural melee attack, I mean, with their charge bonus they get a lot more, but minus 40 melee attack on a Centaur can just make it do nothing, and then when it runs out of momentum it'll die. So if I use that ability correctly, I can just delete a Centaur on cooldown. And I say delete because that's assuming I use it when the Centaur is charging into a fight, and then without any melee attack, they'll just lose and die. Melkoth's for constant annoying damage, Shadow Shroud to protect myself from Traitorkin or whatever, and then I have, I mostly am taking him for his healing and routing capabilities against the low leadership faction. So I just kind of want Be'lakor to be this super annoying centerpiece that I can constantly fight around. Then I brought a Chimera. Chimera got nerfed before the DLC even came out, and they're still crazy strong. So this is on the patch you're all playing on. These are the nerfed ones. Game's going too fast while I'm rambling about bullshit. So I brought the basic Chimera. Blood Penguin did bring the ROR Blood Shriek Chimera with Perfect Predator. Other than that, I have some Marauders, Hellstriders, and the Rotting Riders. And then more Marauders on the low ground. I tried to spawn every expensive thing that I wanted to use in the battle right away, and then I would just throw Marauders in as I got money. That was roughly my plan. For Blood Penguin, he has a bunch of Gore Herds, Ungor Herds, Butchers of Kalkengard, Torox the Brass Bull instead of a Doom Bull, which is interesting. Normally I just see a Doom Bull here. And then some Centaurs with throwing axes. So I throw down Dark Master because I saw Blood Penguin wanted to fight my Chimera, and I thought I could get him into a bad fight where, like, he thinks his Regiment of Renown can beat my basic one, but he's got minus 40 melee attack, so he takes some extra damage. It went kind of okay, but neither of us really took that much damage, and both are just backing off. Summoning in more Skirmishers and Dogs on the low ground. And I don't see this Spearman here, so I think I'm just fighting a Centaur and a Gore Herd. That's going to change for me pretty quickly. Be'lakor's looking for an angle. Generally fine just throwing him into a front line. Like I said, he has plenty of healing. Going to countercharge the Butchers of Kalkengard with Rotting Riders and throw Be'lakor in there, so this should be a pretty good fight for me. I even chuck down Shadow Shroud in case Torox wants to get a little antsy. Though he also has his damage resistance out, so both of the Lords are just rocking a casual 40+ damage resist. Meanwhile, Melkoth's out onto Centaurs whenever I can, and Chimera's diving down onto them to help out the Hellstriders who are chasing those guys back. Now, a problem for me is where the fight is occurring. Blood Penguin took 0.3 and 0.2. I took 0.1 for now, but the fight is happening on 0.1 and 0.3. So if I take one and he takes the other, he's still going to be ticking up points in the back there for free, and I'm not contesting that. So I have to, at some point in this battle, push him backwards. Trading even is not going to be enough, so I've got to get momentum somehow. Rotting Riders trying to hold with Be'lakor, but our Marauders did tear her out briefly. Now the Rotting Riders decide to leave, taking too much damage. I'm going to try and get them out of there while my Chimera comes in as well. But the damn Butchers won't go anywhere. They are, of course, terror-causing, so they are immune to terror. Can't get rid of them that way, though they're super low. My Rotting Riders, not doing too good. Close to routing, and if they do rout, they'll lose their 15% damage resistance, so that's very bad. I do get some terror outs going in, and Be'lakor is doing what I got him to do. He is just standing in the middle of these guys, lowering their leadership, getting them to run away, and then healing up off of their fear. Now he's stuck fighting Torox. Unfortunately, my Rotting Riders are retreating. The Butchers of Kalkengard stay. And man, there's so many Beastmen infantry coming in right now. Look at them all. Look at all these infantry. Whatever. Low ground fight's not going badly. It's also not going amazing. We routed some Centaurs, trading about 50-50 on health, and I have Hellstriders in his backline that just got done killing a Centaur. I haven't noticed them just yet as I summon in more Marauders and Marauder Bearmen. Whee! Marauder Bearmen! The most underwhelming thing since devotees of Slaanesh with crossbows. I haven't used them that much to definitively say they suck ass, but I've used them like 4 times, and I think all 4 times I've been saddened. All right, Be'lakor's doing his job, still just standing in the middle of this while I get a breath attack down the side of these Pestigors Penguin threw in. I'm about 700 damage value down, which is not good, though I do have a large healing centerpiece. So Be'lakor is going to inflate that damage a little bit as he takes damage and then heals it back up. Chimera's trying to hunt the Shadows caster and get rid of him. I'm cleaning up some Centaurs on the bot side, but his infantry are beating my Marauders, so I do need to either summon some more or get these guys back into the fight to try and take 0.3. He has taken 0.1 with just a plethora of bodies. Just so many Beastmen, filthy, sweaty bodies on 0.1 that he technically took it from me while I'm still fighting for it. We tear out off some Centaurs with a nice rear charge to the Hellstriders, though they look like they're also about to rout. Be'lakor throws down Shadow Shroud, and he's trying to get any damage he can on that Chimera and Torox. Meanwhile, my Chimera is sitting in Gore Herds and the Butchers of Kalkengard, and it's fine. It is completely chilling. When people were like, stupid streamers getting Chimeras over nerfed before they even came out, nah. They're still very strong. Immune to flanking with a high-ish melee defense for a monster is pretty crazy, so it can just stand in the Butcher's Account Guard and be fine, as I throw in some Marauders of Spears, Marauders of Tzeentch with Spears to save them. Be'lakor decided not to fight Torox for too long on Torox's support, so I retreat back to my Marauders, and now I'll take the fight over here, but I was just tired of fighting on Spears. Penguin has so many crappy, shitty units sprinting at this point. I can't get rid of him. Take a little fight with Torox in front of Marauder Horsemen, who will help me out a little bit. Then I summoned some Forsaken, saved up some money for some decent infantry, because my Marauders were just getting chunked out too quickly, so I was hoping Forsaken could stand their ground a little bit longer. Meanwhile, Penguin has pushed me off the point and even summoned some Slaangors on the low ground, because I almost took this point from him. It's Gore Herds, Ungor Herds starting to rout now, but Slaangor is coming in. He summons more Slaangors, so he is dedicating a lot of resources to point 3. And then I get Dark Master out once again to help my Chimera win the fight against the ROR. Be'lakor's not healing as much as I need to, considering the damage he's taking from Torox, so I get him back up into the sky. As we do some skirmishing, trying to get good damage on that Bloodshriek Chimera, get rid of it, because I know if he backs off with it, he's going to get the healing. So if I'm going to damage it, I need to commit to actually, like, killing it. As he gets some Centaurs in the back line, my Skirmish Cav is going to try and run away. I don't know if I have anything to summon. I have enough money. Yeah, I just summoned something. I summoned Armored Chaos Trolls. Gotcha. Okay, I'm remembering my plan now. The Forsaken got murdered way faster than I had hoped, so shit, out of luck on that one. But I was going to have Forsaken and Armored Chaos Trolls and try and get some armor going because my Marauders were getting shredded so quickly. Turns out my Armored Forsaken get shredded just as quickly. The snipe onto his Chimera is going pretty well. I've evened up the damage value a bit, and Be'lakor is still capable of healing quite a lot of damage if he's given time and people. Baited the Centaurs into a bad fight. Armored Chaos Trolls plus Skirmish Cav take them out quite easily, and now I'm going to come back up. I've officially evened the damage value. He still has a metric shit ton of garbage on my point, but maybe we can get rid of them. We're about even on supplies, so what he has is what he has, and it's all getting lower. If I can kill Torox, I can probably win this game, because Be'lakor can just rout everything off and then heal up and be fine. Butcher's Account Guard hanging around. They've been criminally low on HP for quite a while. Now it is my turn to do the 2v1, as my Chimera and Be'lakor are beating up Torox the Brass Bull. The RR Chimera, it did die. Yes, it died. I was wondering if it routed off or died. I remembered it didn't come back. I just forgot the capacity of such. Pestigors take a little Mel costs, they don't rejoin the fight. Be'lakor's going to heal off of them while he can. This thing also sucks. Blade of Shadow. I've been casting Melkoths all game, and I'm only 10% charged on the Blade of Shadow, so probably shouldn't have taken that. It's my bad. Torox and his spear is going to hunt down the Chimera. Immune to flanking, but not immune to giant flaming axes to the face, I suppose, as Razor Gores have pinned Be'lakor down, having a hard time getting over towards Torox. And now I break away. Really need to kill him. I'm getting criminally far behind on tickets. I've now taken a slight lead in damage value. It's kind of flipping back and forth as those Armored Chaos Trolls are doing their jobs. Hellstrider is also doing pretty well. Still have 2 Skirmish Cav just annoying the Butcher's Account Guard, but the problem is capture weight. He has point 3 locked down. I stopped wasting resources trying to go fight that. And I really, really need to kill Torox so I can start routing these people, maybe take point 1, slow down the tickets, and then maybe take a different point and turn this game around, but it's looking desperate. Again, we're even on damage value. We've been trading blow for blow as far as units and deaths and all that stuff goes, but the problem is the fight is taking place here. The fight isn't taking place here. So this whole time I've just been losing tickets as I'm trading even. Bastard. Razor Gores and Torox doing their jobs, but a beautiful breath attack from my Chimera takes half their HP. Chimera's been a bro this whole game. Be'lakor, like, he's doing his job, just not doing it fast enough. Still can't kill Torox. I can't do it. And Be'lakor's looking like he might Demonic Instability crumble soon. At this point, mathematically, it is impossible to win. But I just want my vengeance upon the Brass Bull. Be'lakor will not have that vengeance. It's not going to happen. Demonic Instability starts to take me out, then I rally a little bit. My Armored Chaos Trolls still doing good work, but they just can't get into the point, because even now, even this late in the game, man, I can't get past just the wall of bullshit that Penguin keeps throwing between me and this capture point. I finally rout off Torox, only 30 tickets away from the end, which once he has a triple cap, that's 10 seconds from the end of the game. Be'lakor continues to Demonic Instability crumble. Torox will rally in a bit. He's only terror routing for now, so he's back with 1,000 HP. And that is a win for Blood Penguin. What up, Olaf? More chaos versions prefer to have monster units that are faster and have AP. Gotcha. What up, Wolf? Belcor's a trap in Dom 2, too expensive for no capture weight. Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. I feel like Bloodpang and I were talking. He shut down my Rotting Riders quicker than I wanted. Otherwise, everything kind of went to plan, except for like any infantry I spawned just getting blended instantly by his Slongors and Pestigors and stuff. So that was a bit rough. But yeah, the problem with my plan is that I didn't have any way to like push him back, because I didn't have anything that could kill his chaff quickly enough. Be'lakor could kill like infinite chaff and heal off of it, but he didn't do it fast. So then I ended up just getting attritioned out, which was a big problem for me. GG's though. Was a good game. Boom, back to the Hazel blocker. So Blood Penguin from our side of the bracket went to the finals. And then on the European side, we have Ronin versus Catholic Alcoholic. And here you'll get a pure DLC matchup. Slaanesh into Norsca. Hey, Darth Plagueis. What's your best faction currently? Skaven and then Greenskins. Skaven, then Greenskins. I like the DLC. This is not a criticism of the DLC. I'm just responding to my best factions. I'm not good at any of the DLC factions. I'm not really a Slaanesh, High Elf, or Norsca player. So, yeah. Showcasing these DLCs was tough for me because I'm like, I don't play these factions good. Catholic Alcoholic and Slaanesh. We have a front line of Slongors. We have the Mask of Slaanesh with her Mortis engine abilities and heals. Pleasure Guard, Champions of Slaanesh ROR, Sorcerer of Shadows with Melkoth and Enfeebling Foe, some Devoted Marauders in the back, 2 Pleasure Seekers on the Vanguard, and 1 Hellstrider. For Norsca of Ronin, a Marauder front line, pretty standard. Norscan Ice Wolves and Skinwolves, the pairing of a tale as old as time. Some Marauder Hunter Javelins, a Great Shaman Sorcerer of Metal, Final Transmutation, and Searing Doom, and then a Krista Etten Rune Caller. The not Regiment of Renown, as Lucy pointed out, just the one with weird bound spells. I honestly, hot take, think the non-Rune Caller one is just better for less money, but hey, maybe I'm dumb. The Mask piles in, though. Krista Etten is a really good counter. Like, I've been on the Mask is OP, the Mask needs to be nerfed, woe is the Mask, but like, Giants will mess up the Mask in 1v1 fights, for sure. For sure. Norsca's holding back some of their mobility elements. I bet they're looking for the Pleasure Seekers, which are just now showing up on the Vanguard, yeah. These guys are probably going to rotate over or flank around the sides, but they do have to be a little quicker about it. We have Javelins retreating from the Slaanesh front line. Yeah, dude, this is what happened to me in the Domination game, too. These Slongors are slamming Marauders. All right, I feel vindicated. That's how point 3 went so bad for me in that Domination game. Slongors are murdering people. Oh my god, 53 kills, like 30 seconds into combat. Now, they're Marauders. I'm not talking about, like, Chosen or anything, but they kill things fast. Really good surround by the Pleasure Seekers onto these Skinwolves. And the balance of power is still like 50-50, but this looks like a slamming for Slaanesh against Norsca here. The Mask escaped from the Cursed Etten that is now slapping a Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows. Boy, you better run. That's pretty much a giant. That is a DLC giant. Hellstriders beating up on the Norscan Ice Wolves. Meanwhile, Marauders fighting Slongors. Doesn't look like these Slongors are fighting back, though. The Marauders have taken literally 0 damage. The Slongors are trying to path past them. Yeah, they're not fighting back. Probably need to turn and just kill those guys. Norsca's lost all of their infantry pretty much. They have some mobility elements coming back, but all of their balance of power is in their Great Shaman and the Cursed Etten, which is now surrounded by the Champions of Slaanesh, so I think it's going to die here pretty quick. Champions of Slaanesh do a lot of damage. They're a pretty bad unit in a lot of ways, but the ROR is better, and no one ever complains about that unit's damage output. As the Pleasure Seekers, though, their damage output's a little cracked. I still think that they're a mite bit strong. They shred down these Skinwolves. They're going to surround and kill the Great Shaman of Metal. Ooh. Ooh, that is a dead boy. He ain't getting out of there alive. Down to half HP. Throws a desperation searing doom on himself, but yeah, he did. He dead as hell. Army losses comes for Norsca, and Slaanesh does a quick Slaanesh thing. What's your opinion on the DLC so far? I think it's Omens of Destruction all over again. If you liked Omens of Destruction, if you thought that was a good DLC, then you're gonna like this one. If you thought it was a bad DLC, then you're not gonna like this one. And I don't mean that in like a shady way. I thought Omens of Destruction was fine. I thought it was a DLC. I thought the campaigns in it were fun. I thought the units it added were pretty neat. I didn't think it was like world shattering. And I think this one's similar. I think Slaanesh, High Elves, and Norsca all move up on the tier list. I think they're all going to be better in every game mode. I think their campaigns got some much needed love. But I think it's fine. I'm not purely optimistic on it because I think it added some more toxic units that I don't think are fun, and it added some units that I think are cool. So yeah, it's fine. Standard 7 out of 10. All right, I was just reading chat. I gotta get back in the flow of knowing how to read chat like quickly or talk while I'm reading. So the Slaanesh did fantastically. Hundreds of kills on them in such a short game. Very nice job for them. And then the Pleasure Seekers both paid for themselves. So Catholic showing a lot of the very strong Slaanesh units. Very good build. As for Ronan, his Marauders were no match for the Slaanesh. His Jav throwers had no time to throw their javelins because their front line disintegrated before their very eyes. And then a little bit of a slow rotation on some of the mobility elements, but they were just horribly outclassed by the Pleasure Seekers. Wherever a fight happened, the Pleasure Seekers just murdered them all. GG. Game 2. The Domination. High Elves versus Wood Elves. Ronan should have taken more Bearmen, of course. Of course. The campaign changes are better than Omens of Destruction. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, I don't pretend to know the High Elf campaigns that well or the Slaanesh campaigns that well. They're just not factions I personally play a lot. I did play a lot of Greenskins though, so I know, you know, I played Gorbad's campaign and I thought that was pretty hype. I also play Ogres, and I hated their campaign, and I thought Golgi's campaign was actually pretty fun, so yeah. Omens of Destruction, I had a higher opinion on their campaigns because their campaigns for factions I actually liked. Which, yeah. Alright, game 2. Shush. Everybody shush. If you want to see game 3 between these two, you're rooting for the Wood Elves. For the High Elves of Catholic Alcoholic, we have Ship's Company, then some Archers, Ithamar Chariots, and 2 Lothern Sky Cutters, with a Mist Mage up in the skies providing his summon, and then Vigor plus immune to contact effects. And we have Alistair the White Lion on his Lion Chariot on the ground, providing a bit of, ooh, that's really good, flame resistance and flaming attacks. Wow, he is really good versus Wood Elves, because Starfire Shafts will do less damage to everyone around him, and then he makes you do better against Dryads and Treemen and stuff. Damn, it's actually a pog pick. No side for Ronins. Wood Elves, I know they're his favorite faction. Spellweaver Beasts, which is Flock of Doom. Triple Waywatcher. Yeah, triple Waywatcher. Bold. And then Eternal Guard and some Glade Riders and Dryads. It's a couple War Dancers. Very low mobility here for the Wood Elves, but triple Waywatcher early investment is nice if you can just attrition out the enemy and start summoning in chaff. That's pretty good, I believe. And they did snipe out the Mist Mage almost entirely. He parked over them a little too close. Now he's got to retreat. He does not have his heal, or is this the one that when you overcast it, it heals? Yeah, okay. He did bring a heal if he overcasts. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, so he could back off and heal up a little bit. Lothern Skycutters against Wood Elves is interesting. I feel like Wood Elves are one of the factions most equipped to deal with these guys. We have Dragon Princes getting summoned in against Wild Riders for a low ground fight. So not similar to Blood Penguin and I's game. The fight is now occurring in the field between the 2 points, meaning the Wood Elves actually are getting tickets this whole time. Cough, cough, nudge, nudge. Come on, human boy, take a point for once, you idiot. War Dancer's gonna jump into Ship's Company. And I don't care if you're a DLC unit or not, those war dancers are going to punk your ass. So Ship's Company getting blasted, but they're cheaper than Spearmen. So the High Elf's still happy to have them for domination. Alistair jumping in, giving these, what the hell? Why can't I find the Ship's Company? Give the Ship's Company! There, they have fire attacks. That's all I wanted to show. My goodness. On the low ground, Dragon Prince is fighting Wild Riders and more Wild Riders getting summoned in. But I really want to see how the Lothern Skycutters are doing. They're just diving the Waywatchers, and they're all still full HP. Now, I don't know if I should blame Ronan for that. Maybe he hasn't been targeting them, but I don't know. I had a couple Slaanesh games versus the High Elves, and my stupid devotees with their crossbows couldn't do shit damage against them, so maybe they're just immune to ranged fire. Oceanid Summon is out. We have some Glade Riders trying to block as the Oceanids go crazy with the Skycutters as well. Waywatchers still trying to get away a little bit. But those flying chariots are on their ass. Not taking that much damage yet. There, now they're starting to. And they're pretty expensive. You can't just throw Lothern Skycutters into the fray and leave them there forever. That'll go poorly. We also have this Ithalmar chariot that's been here since the start of the game. Okay, it's coming back now. Hadn't done anything for a while. Morley and Reavers were summoned on the low side, but I do really want to see how these Lothern Skycutters do. So I'm not going to watch that, but it's happening. There's things in cavalry and blah, and I'm sure people are dying. You get it. You've seen games before. You know how this works. I mean, the Skycutters, they're doing a lot of disruption. They're putting the chariot into flying chariot right now. They're taking a lot of damage, though. I mean, they're dealing damage to Waywatchers. It's super worth it. I'm just kind of interested in their unit performance. If there were Wild Riders or the Wild Hunters of Kronos here, I'm sure these guys would just get blasted. Waywatchers are returning to the fight. They are getting some good shots in. A lot of the Skycutters getting pretty low. They've already done their job. They've damaged the Waywatchers significantly. I'm just curious if he can even get them out and heal them or something. We're down to 3 models here, 4 models. Nope, 3 and 3. So they both lost a model. Ithalmar Chariots and Alistair are trying to show up and help out. So it's Chariots to help Chariots. Still 3 models on these Lothern Skycutters. 3 on the other one too, though it takes a big chunk from the Wood Elf Mage. Damage value is slightly in the High Elves' favor, but I think like if this goes poorly, if they lose their Lothern Skycutters with that much ammo left, I mean that's still a pretty significant loss. Though Ronan lost his Waywatchers as well. I'm sure he feels great about that. So what are they at? Half, 1/3. Get that horn out of my face. Half. Okay, they're still at pretty decent damage capacity if they can get bailed out now. Oceanid Summon is wearing out, and I think that's his second one. Yeah, it's his second Oceanid Summon. That's wearing off now. Wood Elves got to hold the line, but once they tank through the summons and get rid of the Lothern Skycutters, they can start to push back into the High Elves. But the Skycutters are back, still 3 and 3, so still 75% damage capacity on all of them, as Dragon Princes get a rear charge on Glade Riders to save Alistair. And the High Elves successfully took the 3rd capture point. So Catholic's feeling pretty good about now. His Skycutters are back. He's got more capture points than his opponent. He's taking out the Waywatchers. He's vibing. Now the Mist Mage is even about to body the Spellweaver of Beasts. Much better combat stats on that Eagle caster than the Spellweaver on her little horse. Not shocking. Not complaining. Just saying. So she's in trouble. Backline's in trouble. Skycutter's still being annoying. The Ithalmar Chariots did join the fray and apparently got immediately chunked out. Oh boy, they took a lot of damage. Skycutter down to 1 model for him, 2 on the other one. They're pretty much a spent force. The Waywatchers are still trying to hit him. They seem hard to hit because it looks like they get some of that eagle animation that I complain about a lot because I'm a Skaven player, but like if you hit an eagle with a Giselle shot, it'll like freak out and flutter its wings and dodge the rest of the volley. It looks like these guys get that benefit too, or if they get hit, the first time they get hit, they like meh and dodge a lot of it. How much value have they gotten? That one paid for itself. That one paid for itself too. All right, good first showing for the Skycutters here. Alistair's helping out the front lines. The Wood Elves look like they're about out of gas at this point. The High Elves are up about 2,000 damage value, and the High Elves are the ones who have been healing occasionally with the Mist Mage, so you actually need to be further ahead of them on gold damage value for it to even be even. And yeah, the Wood Elves just have a lot of white flags, a lot of depleted health bars, and they're retreating. As the High Elves continue to push forward, they have archers, they have dragon princes, they have Alistair, who's still very healthy. And Catholic has slightly more supplies. They're honestly about even, so who cares? It's not that big of an advantage. Oceanids have been better than I thought they'd be. Not OP or anything, but solid. Can't say the same for the models. Yeah, I can't describe why the models look off, but like they just do. I don't know, something about it doesn't look right. Something's getting desummoned. I just heard the whoosh. He was trying to desummon the Way Watchers, but then they just got routed again. At this point, I don't know what the Wood Elves can do. They don't have a leg to stand on anywhere. They're just in full retreat, and they're trying to summon in some stuff, but they immediately get charged by Dragon Princes as soon as they show up. Probably just GG. Do you think it's funny how the Skycutter has a spike right behind the Eagle's head? Oh, yeah, that's a little weird. Looks like a college kid's Blender project. For the Oceanids, I presume. Alright, the Wood Elves did summon some Wild Riders. We still have a full health War Dancer. Alistair's just surrounded and fleeing Wood Elves. That was weird to pan over to. Damn. He fucking around. What's his value so far? 1100. Not bad. I do think one thing he is though, you guys are saying he's pretty bad, but like that AoE fire resist and fire damage is good against specific factions. Factions that rely on healing or factions that have fire to weakness. Yeah, weakness to fire. You can be good for those. Mistmage did okay. He's not going to get a lot of value on his own, but he used summons and healing, so of course he's not going to have that high value. Archers did fine. Law and Skycutters both did very well, in my opinion. Way Watchers on the other side for the Wood Elves, they did solid. It was really the Wood Elf infantry that couldn't hold up there into the bargain, and then the Glade Riders did their best, but they couldn't peel everything they needed to peel. Wild Riders got trucked on by the Dragon Princes. Yeah, Dragon Princes put on a show. Put on a clinic. GG's. So the finals will be Blood Penguin versus Catholic Alcoholic. Back to another conquest game. Slaanesh versus Kislev. I'm reading chat. Once again, we have the Vanguarded Double Pleasure Seekers for Slaanesh. Then a front line with Hellstriders, Slongors, Forsaken, and then we of course have the Mask. An Exalted Hero of Slaanesh is a little new. It's got the Rock of Inevitability and Disarm, so he's meant to be a better duelist. And then we have a Shadows caster with Enfeebling Foe and Melkoths, but we're going to be seeing a lot of the Mask, I suspect. For Kislev of Blood Penguin, we have Armored Kossars, Streltsy Arwar, Ice Guard with swords, then some Kossars with spears, Armored Kossars mixed in again. The Watchman in the Night, and a Zargard with Great Open. So a very diverse infantry roster, but no mobility whatsoever for Slaanesh to pick off. We have the Golden Knight with their Urson's Claw. I like that a lot. And the Ice Witch with Death Frost. So the Urson's Claw thing, Slaanesh likes to obviously cycle charge and whatnot. But if you can just run at them and freeze them in place, they can get shot a ton. And that could be a really good way to win. Especially, honestly, it's going to suck for the Golden Knight, but the Golden Knight could just sprint into Pleasure Seekers all alone, net them in place, and then have all the archers turn and shoot at them. But Pleasure Seekers are weird. They have no missile resistance, but they have bronze shields and physical resist, I guess. But like, their weird serpentine bodies, I've just noticed missiles miss them a lot. And they're moving at 100 speed, so yeah, they don't have actual missile resistance, but missiles don't actually do that much damage to them. As the Zargard have died while I was looking away. My god. Slongors plus the Mask are eviscerating the poor Zargard. Ooh. Golden Knight's trying to duel against this, but it is a 2v1, and she is currently getting disarmed. So 25% less damage is brutal. The Slaanesh mobility is staying its distance for now. Looks like they're trying to use this Exalted Hero to break any charge defense that there could be, and now they come flying in on unbraced Armored Kossars, unbraced Spears. They'll get eaten. I don't know about 3 units all fighting 1 Armored Kossar, but do what you gotta do, I suppose. Even the Kislevite front line is butter under the new Slaanesh onslaught, so they're gone. Forsaken have gotten into the back line. We have some annoying nuisances back here harassing the Ice Guard who can't actually fire right now. The Mask has taken a lot of damage, so is the Golden Knight. They're trying to fall back while Bordinov's Brawlers shoot this Exalted Hero guy in the face. That's the Chaos Horse. The Exalted Hero is way back there. Pleasure Seekers fall back from their infantry combat. Do need to get onto the Archers soon, as Hellstriders also show up and try and get rid of them, but while I said they're tanky-ish to Archer fire, they don't want to just tempt it and sit in front of it for too long. In comes a big engagement. Pleasure Seekers going straight through the front. So much damage onto the Brawlers. Ow. Ow! That's all there is back here, as these guys. I thought maybe there was something else, but they've already half HP the Brawlers. They're still just churning through everybody. There was no cav for them to fight. They're just murdering infantry. Only 400 value on that one that hasn't actually been fighting that long, but what's this other one? Yes, 1600 on this one that's just been burning through infantry. That's insane. Exalted Hero of Slaanesh chasing down the Golden Knight. Balance of Power is not as Slaanesh favored as I would expect, though. Like, it looks like Kislev's getting their shit run through, and the game's like, I don't know, Slaanesh is slightly ahead, I guess.
If you're gonna be a pessimist about it.
Idiots! That tree in the back going absolutely nuts, yeah. Pleasure Seekers still blitzing through people, trying to get some healing out from the low leadership of surrounding units, but it is difficult for them. Kislev is a rather high leadership faction. They're doing their best, backing off before they disintegrate away. The Golden Knight just died. I saw her fade. Another Death Frost out onto the Mask. 500 HP left on the Mask, 60 plus leadership. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Down to 166 HP, still 32 leadership. It's pretty much unbreakable, but the Mask did die right before the game ended. Slaanesh even good this DLC? Yeah, I think they're for sure A tier, maybe S. I'll have to see more games, but from my experience, they seem very good. I wonder how they are in Dom, because I know Domination has struggled with Slaanesh for quite a long time, and they just got them nerfed into a point of maybe not being oppressive, from what I hear. From what I hear, I don't pretend to be up on the Domination meta, but then Slaanesh gets this patch, and I'm like, I'm sure Dom's having a really fun time with Slaanesh right now. Hello from Europe. Great to see you're streaming at a viable time for us. Hell yeah. Dr. Square, thanks for the welcome back as well. Yeah, Slongors are so good for their price point. Pleasure Seekers also very, very strong. Hellstriders did their jobs-ish. Exalted Hero and the Mask did fun. For Blood Penguin, I call him Blood Penguin because that's his Discord name. On Steam, he's Plague Penguin. His Armored Kossars got some okay value here and there, but they got shredded. Zargard also got murdered. Ice Guard didn't do that great. Honestly, the Brawlers had the hardest time for some reason. Like, I saw them get one volley down, but otherwise they were just obstructed all game, so. Boo the Brawlers. Boo. If you are hoping for any Game 3s today, put your hands together and try and root for the Warriors of Chaos versus the High Elves. Because we need Blood Penguin to win a game for going to Game 3. High Elves versus Warriors of Chaos. Warriors of Chaos trying to use the Marauder Bearmen to get some extra meat on them points, as the High Elves use their new Lord, a bunch of Ships Company, and 2 Lothern Skycutters. Are there any Skaven games? Did you miss one? No Skaven games. Mostly been focusing on DLC factions right now. Because this was supposed to be a pre-DLC stream, but then I got busy. All right. We touched on what was in each army as they got summoned in, but Sea Lord Iceland is on his dragon, and Archaon has Spirit Leech and Searing Doom. Lore Master of Hoeth. Oh, did he bring the Blessed Tome? Ah, no Blessed Tome gaming. This is before it was banned. It hasn't been banned from everybody's events, just mine right now, because the Lore Master... I mean, if you didn't see my last 2 videos, the Lore Master can become immortal and it's bugged, so we just took it out. Anyway, Armored Chaos Trolls and Marauders spreading out. Gonna go fight these ships company soon, the Northern Skycutters. I mean, they're free and clear to shoot what they want to. There's nothing here that can threaten them, but also, unfortunately, there's not a lot for them to shoot at. I guess they could poke down Archaon a little bit, but he's teeny tiny, shielded, and heavily armored, so... yeah, Chaos is just gonna try and ignore the Skycutters at this point, it appears. But then Catholic goes to land them. Oh, I guess he just wants a better angle to get a rear charge in. That's interesting. I don't know if that was wise, though, as we do get some Doom Knights of Tzeentch. Ooh, that's smart. That's a good counter, I think. I mean, you'd hope, but flying fast mass to hold these guys in place. This could be a death of those Skycutters, as they're now stuck in infantry, getting attacked by Doom Knights. And the Doom Knights did Doom Knight stuff and just formed a teeny tiny little blob instead of spreading out. Damn you, Doom Knights. All right, what else is going on in this battle? Archaon gets to duel with Sea Lord Iceland, Fight or Die, and Slayer of Kings procced. Though I suppose Iceland does have healing from the Lore Master of Hoeth's Earthblood right behind him. That could be problematic. He's still going to take damage here for sure, but he's just going to back off and heal it up. Dragon Prince is getting summoned in for the High Elves. And on the high ground, we have Rangers versus Marauder Bearmen. I honestly think the Rangers would win that. So it seems like the High Elves have the high ground, but Warriors of Chaos have the low ground. They have double cap down here, and it's not looking like it's going anywhere anytime soon. I'm really surprised Iceland hasn't retreated. I know it's Iceland from how he says it. I just like Iceland better, so I sometimes flub and say that. But yeah, Iceland needs to pull back. I know he has healing, but like this extended of a trade isn't worth it. Your stats are better when you're charging Archaon, but Archaon will beat you if you just stand here and 1v1 him. There we go. He's starting to pull back. Routed some trolls. A lot of the Skycutters got out of that bad situation with almost no damage. That's odd. I guess the Doom Knights did flub it. Like, they all clumped up instead of spreading out, so then there wasn't that much damage, I guess. Warriors of Chaos up on damage value right now. They are up on capture points as well, as they have a 2-for-1 cap. And yeah, I think Blood Penguin agrees with my assessment that the Rangers would beat his Bearmen, so he's just pulling the Bearmen down here. He's letting the High Elves have that top point. Once again, Iceland jumps in onto Archaon. See, that's good. Refresh your charge bonus on your dragon, get good damage out. You know Archaon can't heal. That's solid. I just didn't like him literally sitting and fighting Archaon without refreshing the charge at all, but he's getting good damage out. Doom Knights jump in and try and save Archie, meaning the Love and Sky Cutters are safe to do whatever they want to do. Though one of them, yeah, Catholic Alcoholic told me about this. One of them is just stuck fighting these Marauders. So the whole game, he's like trying to get these guys back, but he can't send them into flying mode again until that one gets free, and that one does not want to get free ever, as it's just fighting. So he has one of his Love and Skycutter models just entirely ignoring his orders. Archaon tries to break away to freedom. This 2v1 against the Lore Master and the Sea Lord with a Dragon's HP bar and healing is not going well for him, so he just needs to pull back. But like, Chaos is doing well elsewhere. They've completely secured point 3, pushed back any High Elves over here, maybe even want to rotate extra units towards the middle, as we get a Sea Elemental. First time that's been summoned in. There he goes to save the day. Sea Elemental. That thing's super tanky against infantry. Very weak to ranged fire, but the Warriors of Chaos isn't exactly known for their abundance of ranged fire. We have a bunch of Chaos Trolls in the enemy spawn. I'm not sure if that's intentional at this point, or if they were chasing something, have been forgotten, but it is a good way to disrupt any reinforcements there. Sea Elemental is here to annoy some aspiring champions. It's actually maybe going to rout them quickly here. Archaon, did you die? No, you didn't die. Why is their HP so low then? Not HP, leadership so low. We did get a Nurgle caster summoned in, but it looks like he doesn't have the Winds of Magic to save Archaon just yet, and he might not get the opportunity to, as Northern Skycutters and Iceland try and snipe him out. 250 HP. Can the other Skycutter be brought around to shoot him? Nope, they're still stuck on the ground. Where's their 4th model at this point? Where is that thing? I don't know. They're having so many issues getting off the ground. He did message me about that, so I've just been kind of curious what he was dealing with. The Doom Knights have taken a lot of damage. I don't know from what, but I imagine it's just attrition of being on the ground for a while, so they're not having a good time. Archaon's not having a good time, and all of a sudden, Catholic is up about 1.5k damage value. And Archaon's still waiting for Fleshy Abundance, which he just got as the Skycutters are chasing him through the trees, shooting at him while he's healing, but he should be fine. Should be. Now the High Elves are starting to get some momentum on the battlefield as well, not just in the damage value, but they've taken point 2. They have more high HP bars in here, especially with that Sea Elemental tearing through any melee units the Warriors of Chaos send in. So the Warriors of Chaos need to probably stop and send in a bunch of Marauder Horsemen and shoot that thing, but that, like, it sucks to do that. That's probably the only way you're going to take it out. You can't fight that thing in melee. Not unless it gets truly isolated and you hit it with some anti-large armor-piercing mass. Like, I suppose you don't need armor-piercing against it, but like the Rot Knight's ROR could maybe deal with it. But in my experience, the Sea Elemental is crazy strong in melee, but super weak to ranged fire, and it's very expensive. So I think it's a balanced unit. I don't think it's good or bad, honestly. I think it's fine. But when it's in a melee grind like this, it's in its element. 75 melee defense as long as it's getting naval discipline. Otherwise, it has 70. So 70 melee defense and perfect vigor, which means that shit's going nowhere. Immune to contact effects, physical resistance of 30%. It's a monster in melee, but basic archers can just delete it because it has no missile resistance. Oh, sorry, it has 20 missile resistance. Woo! And 0 armor. I took it against Kislev in one of the replays I showed on the channel, and like even armored Kossar's pistols were just tearing that thing a new one. Archaon, with 1 fleshy abundance under him, decides now is the time to fight. Fight or die and Slayer of Kings popped. Does a lot of damage to Acelin as we get Hell Cannon chops over the top. Blood Penguin is not going out without a fight, as the Skycutters who have been permanently stuck on the ground are still taking a lot of damage. But they're the ones that are up in the sky, doing just fine. 4 out of 4 models after fighting some incredibly wounded Doom Knights, and they even dive the backline Hell Cannon. Try and shut that down. Try. Doom Knights are also trying to stop him. Archaon's routing for the second time as the Sea Elemental got onto him. He's back down to 200 HP. Acelin's diving in for the killing blow, and there goes the Lord of the End Times. Leadership spike down for the Warriors of Chaos. Their trolls are going to get running, so are their Marauder Bearmen. And there's really nothing left on the field for the Warriors of Chaos. Just a Hell Cannon, a half-health Energocaster, and an already routing Hellstrider of Slaanesh versus all the High Elves. I think that's just GG. Elves have too much momentum at this point.
I knew it. Unending glory is yours.
Has anything been said about Thankful in the End Times DLC announcement? Didn't look like it? No. I thought this was only land battles? Bruh! What? Okay. I know some people are teasing and some people are serious. This was supposed to be a before the DLC came out thing, so I did a mini quote-unquote tournament where I did Conquest, land battles, and Domination mixed so that people could see the units they wanted to see in scenarios they wanted to see them in. Yes, I primarily do land battles and Conquest. And I will still. But yeah, there was your little showcase. Gonna keep it short today. 1, because I just streamed all the games I was gonna stream. 2, was just getting back into the flow. And then 3, I need to go record some videos because I don't have any recorded right now. And the channel has none scheduled, so I do need to do that. But I had about an hour and a half to kill, and I knew this stream wouldn't take that long, so I thought it'd be a good time to fire it up and say hi to everybody. What Beastman Legendary Lord might we get in the End Times DLC? I don't know. I don't know if there's any Beastman Lords I know of that we don't already have. Some of the lore people probably know. As far as like units that we need for the Beastmen, like what role that should be filled, Kazric needs like a rework to be a good Chariot Lord. But so we have a Chariot Lord, we have Monstrous Lord, we have a Caster Lord, and then we have a Foot Support Lord. So the Beastmen could use a Foot Duelist. I don't know if they have anything like that, but like a Gore type Lord, not a Doom Bull, or not a Minotaur base, but also not a caster, who's just meant to be this Foot Duelist, like their version of Sigvald, or their version of like Belagar Ironhammer or something. I'm not saying that would be super competitive and like strong in multiplayer, but that is the niche they're missing in their lords. Otherwise they seem pretty set. Could use another caster lord besides Malagor, but I don't know if they have one that's named Moonclaw. Yeah. What End Times factions are we getting? I'm betting you're gonna get Nagash and Vampire Counts big reworks, as you all saw. And then I bet you get Thankful for the Skaven as like a free LC edition, but I don't think they're going to give the Skaven any units. I think you just get Thankful. So Thankful's like a tertiary part of the DLC, but he's not the main focus. I think the main focus is Nagash's faction, vampire counts, and then thought I saw some stuff in there for Vampire Coast as well. So I'm kind of, that's why I just throw Nagash out there. So I think like Nagash is 1, vampire counts is 2, and then for the third End Times faction, that's hard. They might do Dark Elves. Maybe. I don't know. That's really difficult. Could do Britannia. Britannia needs some love, and they need some new units too. Because if you wanted to go with a good guy to fight against Nagash and stuff, like, unfortunately, you already have Volkmar the Grim in the game, because that'd be the easy one. He's the big, like, anti-undead guy. The dwarves already have all their people. So your two, like, big good guys who tend to fight the vampire counts are already set. I don't think they're getting any more DLCs. Tomb Kings, maybe. See, no, this goes back to my prediction video a long time ago. Everybody was shitting on me and telling me I'm a dumb, stupid poo-poo head. But I did say my predictions were Slaanesh High Elves Dark Elves as the next DLC, which I was so close to right. It was Slaanesh High Elves Norsca, but I was so close to right, and no one wants to acknowledge how that was. And then the next one, the only thing we saw in the DLC trailer was Nagash, and then a bunch of new units for the vampire counts. Now, you could go back and check my fucking video. I'm on tape. I am on tape that you know this isn't bullshit. But my prediction for the next DLC was Vampire Counts, Tomb Kings, and Vampire Coast as just a Nagash all undead DLC, because both the Tomb Kings and the Vampire Coast need more units. They're good, they just need more units. Vampire Counts have only gotten 1 DLC, and they're a Game 1 faction. Tomb Kings and Vampire Coast are both DLC factions from Game 2, but they haven't gotten an additional DLC. And meanwhile, since then, we've gotten an update for Beastmen. We got a second DLC for the Beastmen. We got a second DLC for Wood Elves. What else did we get a second DLC for? We got a second DLC for Ogre Kingdoms. We got a second DLC for Norsca. So a bunch of DLC factions are getting their second one, right? So I think Tomb Kings and Vampire Coast are due, and I do think that would be boom Nagash. The only thing that's stopping me from saying that that's what's going to happen, because I'm saying that I was on record saying that, but I don't think that's going to happen because the DLC isn't called the Lord of Undeath. It's called the Lord of the End Times. And that's making me wonder, because it's like, that would just be stupid. I'm sorry, but if the DLC was Tomb Kings, Vampire Counts, and Vampire Coast, you wouldn't call it the Lord of the End Times, because only one of those people has anything to do with the End Times. Like, the other ones are players in the End Times, but they're not the main characters. The main characters of the End Times are the Warriors of Chaos, Nagash, honestly, all 3 of the Elves, and then Karl Franz, but that's about it. All the other factions, from the books I was reading, like, all the other factions get completely fucked on by the End Times. They don't show up. They don't really do much. Honestly, even putting Thankful in something called the Lords of the End Times is fucked up, because he didn't do anything in the omnibuses, if you watch those lore videos of mine. In the Skaven omnibus, he was mentioned a couple times, but he didn't get more than 4 sentences of screen time. And then in the actual Lord of the End Times, Archaon kills him off screen in a violent rage. So Thankful being in this DLC would be hilarious to me. Hey man, welcome back. Thanks Jeremy for the $20. Just got here. Do you think the VP will get any love? I think they will. I don't know if it's this DLC or the next one. But CA confirmed, I thought I saw, they haven't told me anything, but I've seen people talking. CA confirmed that there's another DLC after the Lord of the End Times. So no matter what's in the Lord of the End Times, if I had to pick 6 factions that are getting DLCs before this game is done, Bretonnia, Tomb Kings, Vampire Coast, Vampire Counts, and then I have 2 left. So those 4 are the ones that I'm like very confident are getting DLCs. Cathay, Dark Elves. Yeah. Those would be my call-outs. So going with those 6, let's assume Lord of the End Times, they're going to make Cathay try and stop Nagash or something. They're trying to make Cathay bigger players and get the Chinese audience involved. So if the next DLC is going to be Nagash, which is essentially vampire counts, Cathay, and then Tomb Kings, and they have like whoever they add for the Tomb Kings, they have that person and Khalida try and fight Nagash, while Grand Cathay, the new person, the Monkey King, probably also tries to fight Nagash. And that'll be the DLC's premise or whatever. Sure, cool. And then the next one, you'd have Bretonnia, Dark Elves, and Vampire Coast left. To me, that seems like another naval one, where Sea Lord Acelin kind of had the naval theme. Bretonnia also does a lot with Manan. We don't see that in Total War, but they have a pretty sizable navy. Dark Elves obviously have a huge navy with the Black Arcs, and then Vampire Coast have a huge navy, so I could see them all just being like another naval themed DLC. Ryan G, $5. We all, at some point, we all return to Monkey/Norsca. Yeah. The only thing missing from the Skaven is the Vermin Lord. Yeah, I have an idea of what the Skaven DLC could be. I just don't think it'd be... I think there's a lot of other factions that need DLCs more than Skaven. I'd be happy with a Thankwolf free DLC and then just leave it alone. But the Skaven DLC, if it exists, would be the Doom something? I forget it, but it was in the Black Plague Omnibus. There's just literally take the Chaos Dwarf Dreadquake Mortar and turn it green and make it out of wood. The Skaven had that in that book. It threw like a giant Poison Wind globe, and then when it exploded, it made like a mini black hole for a second, and then everything around it was just vaporized. So Skaven would probably get that, because it's pretty easy to just remake the model of the Chaos Dwarf Dreadquake Mortar into that. So there's your big fancy artillery piece. Vermin Lord for your big fancy monster. Thankful for your Lord is solid. And then you just need generic units. And I forget what we said in the video, but probably just give them some aggressive infantry of some kind. I suppose they have a lot of aggressive infantry. I remember. So there's the Clan Verms guys who used to be around before Clan Mulder. You could give them the Death Stingers. Essentially, it's like upgraded Rat Ogres. So it'd be more expensive armored monstrous infantry, but it'd just be a bunch of mini Tomb Scorpion models. That's all you'd have to do for them. So probably that, and then you could have Clan Verm's Beetle Warriors, which is just like probably a 450 gold upgraded clan rat, as it's these clan rats that have shields and shit, but they're covered in bugs, so when you attack them, you get like beetles on you that bite you and like poison you and shit. In game, they'd probably just make them have like what's the term for that thing? Shield of Thorns has it, the damage reflection. They'd probably just have damage reflection. Did you see the Predator Badlands, or what did you think of Brother? I did not watch Predator Badlands yet, so I have no opinions. What if the new DLC are a standalone faction? They could. I don't see them doing that, though. I feel like they're ramping up for Medieval 3. So I think we're going to be on the kind of life support for a little bit. And it's not terrible. I think the last two DLCs have been fine. I don't predict anything gigantic and hype. I think things are just going to be fine. Great to have you back, Ratman. Yeah. All right, we'll do one quick battle, maybe. One quick battle. I'm on the beta, so I gotta switch to live. Warhammer 3, turn the beta off, because now we don't need it, because everybody's live. Done. How long is that going to take? Because to switch the beta took me literally 2 seconds. All right, yeah, it's done already. Cool. I'll do a quick battle, then sign off. I have shit to go do. Wonder what the next fantasy game is? I would bet it's 40K. I don't want it to be 40K, but I would bet it's going to be 40K. If it's not, I could see them doing kind of Age of Mythology, like do something with Viking lore, or because they just did Egypt. They could do something with Greek lore. Though I suppose they did Troy, yeah, so then probably just something with the Northmen. That'd be my guess. They could, like, I hear people say Lord of the Rings. Maybe. I'd be hyped for it, but I don't think they'll get the license. If they can get the license, sure, that's what they do, but I don't know. We're not in the Lord of the Rings era right now. We're in the Star Wars and 40K era. Like, everything Star Wars and everything 40K is getting made all the time, but Lord of the Rings not happening. Olaf's calling Lord of the Rings. Dude, I hope you're right. Hey, I got the Phoenix King. What up, Phoenix King? Let's play something fun. Norsca. I've actually been enjoying Norsca. Norsca's fun. Cabtails. Yeah, Jormungandr, I am also very sus of how they do with Lord of the Rings. Not Lord of the Rings, 40K. It'd be tough. All right, hi, Elves. All right, I'll take a solid build, but I'm taking my boy Bjorg. I love Bjorg. He's my favorite. He's my favorite, bestest boy in the whole world. Bearfang Talisman, Potion of Toughness are fine. Skip Thrill of Battle. It's okay. He's okay without it, but he's really spency, so I got to get him to be less spency. And I'll take a Shaman Lord, so nice and cheap. Yeah, nice and cheap. Metal Shifting, sure. Skip all those except for Power Stone, and then give me Plague of Rust and Searing Tomb. Riders of the Mighty Serpent are OP and they're very strong. Kurgan Horsemen with great weapons are strong. Marauder Bearmen suck, but I'll take them just to show you that they suck. And then we'll take some Berserkers and we'll take some basic Marauders. Good front line. Now we have some Throwing Axe boys and a lot of money. And I don't even have any Skin Wolves. You know it's a good build when you don't even have Skin Wolves. I don't need that many Skirmish Cav, honestly. Okay, cool. So now I have enough money to afford Skin Wolves, but I won't. Just to fool you, I will get Famir. Get wrecked. Oh, Phoenix King's not ready yet. Hold on. I can unready. Silver Helms, Alethanar, Ho Masters. Why are Marauder Bearmen 4 speed slower than Marauder James? Dude, I don't know. Marauder Bearmen suck. They're trash. I'll take them to show you that they're trash, but they're trash bad. Trash Bandicoot. Why do they, okay, here's the thing. Why do they even have less melee attack than basic Marauders? Like, why? Because I know they have other stats that are better than basic Marauders, but they're supposed to just be better Marauders. There's no reason to give the Marauders an edge of any kind. Like, oh, I feel so bad for them. I'm paying almost 50% more. Just give me more melee attack. Biceps too big. Yeah. Engage with your audience. I don't want to engage with my audience. I already turned ads off. The stream isn't monetized, so. You're paying for the chest hair. If the chest hair is where they get their armor, then I'm down. I'm super down. I don't want to record videos and edit them. I don't want to do YouTube anymore. I want to do Twitch. I'm going to be a Twitch streamer. If for some reason they have 2k more health than Chaos Warriors, is that true? Jeez. I mean, health is neat, but health isn't everything. Health isn't the only thing in life, guys. And the Dreadmaw. I feel the only legit power creep unit from Norsca DLC is the Etten. Chimera. Jormungandr. I would throw Chimera on that list. Chimera is very strong. It's a very, very good unit. I think it can be fun. I think if they tone it down a little bit, I wouldn't want them to keep increasing its price. I think, honestly, if you just take off immune to flanking, that unit might be balanced or even need a little bit of a cost reduction, but immune to flanking feels a bit intense. But it's good. Like a breath attack, Manticore for more money than a Manticore. You know, it's a good concept. I like it. I don't think it's bad. Because there's some things that just their inclusion in the game, I'm like, who is this for? This is bad for the game. Toxic, take it out of the game, and I get all mad, and then CA's like, shut the fuck up, idiot. You know, I don't think Chimera is one of those. I think the Chimera is fine. I just think it's a little strong. Okie dokie. So we're on a teeny tiny little ice map, which means I get a 15% weapon strength increase due to ice, and because I'm Norsca. Get wrecked. If only, right? That's tricky. I don't like that being over there. So I will put some Norscan ice hounds and ice wolves and stuff over there to make sure that those guys don't mess with me. And then Marauders of the Mighty Serpent will just go wherever I need them to be at the moment. Cool. Cool. You guys go there, you guys do that, all the rest of you, one group, and then put the Marauder Javs at the end. Marauder Javs, do you have guard mode on? No. Alright, well, let's fix that. Done. Ready whenever. Phoenix King's in chat, so you should be able to hear me, but there's also a delay. Ready. GLHF. My aquatic buff is overrated. Okay, let's get Power Stone going. Send everybody forwards. And I'll give them specific orders as we go. Bearmen are about to be fed into the Lore Masters of Hoeth. Those are Sword Masters of Hoeth. You're stupid. No, I was just being funny. I was just being a haha funny guy. Alright. Javs, pincushion those nerds. Famir, make sure I stay safe. You guys continue flanking. You guys don't get caught. Ooh, that happened. Those Dragon Princes? Yeah, those are Dragon Princes. Okay. Skirmishers doing skirmisher things. And let's get in here. Do some damage. Alright, I'm gonna get my armor-piercing horsemen to flank these guys before attacking them. There we go. Bjorgensen! Okay, Marauders continue on. Bjorg can deal with this. You plug your rest that guy and run away. Okie dokie, we've compromised the archers. That's going pretty well. Lord Masters of Hoeth. That one was an accident. Okay, that one was not intentional. Sword Masters of Hoeth have butchered my guys. The Riders of the Mighty Serpent are toast, so I'm just gonna have them stay there while my Famir jump in. And you guys keep after them. The Bearmen are going in, and I'm silenced by that thing. Kurgan Horsemen are wrecking those Dragon Princes. I need to keep running. Run! 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 Flee! Flee for your lives! Leave me alone. When does this silence wear off? Stop it. Stop it. All right, run up towards the dogs. The dogs will save you. All right. You must come and save me. Save me from the bad guys that are around me. Famir hurting some dragon princes. Bjorg is Bjorgensen. And I am still in the danger. Alright, we're gonna plague the rest of those dragon princes. Stop turning sideways and shoot the people I tell you to shoot! Bjorg! Save Papa! Help Papa!
Dark blessings, always roaming, chaos bound.
Bjorgensen!
All the way.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Alright, Famir free. Let's go. Those are Marauder Bearmen. Yeah, whatever. Let the lore masters come back. Will you leave me alone? No, they killed him. No, they killed him. They killed my sweet baby boy. Also, these jab throwers are pissing me off. I feel like there's been a lot of instances where they should have done better, and they didn't. Dogs are back. They're winded, but they should have enough leadership to get back into the fight. So our jab throwers are going to take care of the last of the dragon princes, and then my Kurgan horsemen can run them off the field. Jab throwers, jab throwing. These foolish high elves think they can dodge all my javelins. Can you dodge an angry bear man? Because I don't think you can. Hold on, I'm calling bullshit. You can't dodge that. You can't dodge an angry bear man. All right. Famir are gonna run down those archers, because I'm also confident that the eagles don't want to land on my Famir. There was an overcast something. It hurt the caster. That makes me happy. You guys can take guard mode off. I want you to just walk ominously at the dragon princes. And if the dragon princes don't want to party with you, then that's fine. All right, these dogs have rested enough. I'm gonna bring them back into the fold. You guys have done your jobs. And the berserkers can chase off those archers, so I can bring the Famir back. We're feeling good, we're feeling confident. I really don't think that there's anything on this earth that can stop Bjorgensen from Bjorging. Roar! Roar, I'm Bjorging! God, I love him. Just runs in there, gives all my guys juiced up stats. Look at these guys. Look at them. 50 and 47 for stats. Also, why are you walking into melee? What are you doing? You are spear chuckers, not spear havers. Stupid dumbass piece of shit.
Oh, wow, now we're getting compromised in melee. How did this happen? How did this happen? How did we end up in melee with dragon princes? We just walked right up to them. We walked right up to their face. We said, hey, dragon princes, kill me. How did this fucking happen to me? Baba Ghoul.
Idiots. Idiots! Bjorg's OP. Bjorg is OP too strong. Jav throwers OP too strong, even though all I did all game was yell at them. Kurgan horsemen OP too strong. Everything's OP and too strong. Dragon princes are stinky and poo-poo. Miss Mage is stinky and dumb. Sword Masters of Hoeth are OP. Please nerf. GG's Phoenix King. GG's. Olaf, I didn't read your joke or I would have died laughing. I'm sorry. It's Bjorgen time. Ice buffs were too strong. Bjorgen. Dude, I love Bjorg. Like, I know he's not great, but I actually think he is fine. I don't pretend he's strong. I think he is fine. Because if you take off Thrill of Battle and stuff, like, he's 1750. He's fucking unkillable. And Warcry is really good. Like, Warcry is insanely good. I don't know. People hate, but whenever he switches fights, whatever he runs towards, he pops Warcry, and whatever's in that fight gets, like, fight or die and stand your ground. Wait, no. Fight or die. What the hell is the I need to see Archaon 1 second. What's that thing? Okay, fight or die is what I was thinking of. What's the defensive one? Stand or die. There we go. It's like fight or die and stand or die at the same time. Whenever he just does it whenever he switches fights. It's so fucking strong. He's really good at supporting skin wolves. He's really good at supporting Kurgan horsemen. He's good. He's a good boy. I like him. I think he's fine. I don't. The reason I don't think he's like good or OP is I think his price point is really fucking intense, and he doesn't have that much mass, so he has a hard time like going where he wants to. But like, I don't know. I think he's fine. He's a good boy. He's better than Syla. Screw Syla. Syla's a big poopy stinkhead. Cut potion of toughness too. It's true. I'm so tempted because it brings all that healing, but I honestly keep forgetting he has regeneration. Trogdor. That's a great point. Bjorg, my favorite gay man. All right. Yeah, all right. I gotta go record some videos before Dungeons and Dragons tonight. Trogdor. I was gonna have a hype event where I would have 3 show matches, 2 between 2 sweaty tryhards, 2 between 2 of our favorite memers, and then like 2 with 2 of our like longest standing players. So my idea was like Alfredino versus Berserk, best of 3 or best of 5 or something. Then like, I don't know if I've been busy with my treatment and shit, so I don't know, but like Pigman versus like Rider of Rohan or something like that. Like 2 people that just play all the fucking time. And then I was gonna have Trogdor versus Hayseed, because those 2, they're both out of the new player tournaments by now, but they're always fan favorites because they have interesting builds. I don't want to say stupid builds, like, or silly builds, because that implies they're like purely a joke, but their builds like have an idea behind them. They're just silly, like not meta. Like Hayseed taking Kolek Suneater, but he takes like a legit build that could win with Kolek Suneater. It's not like I have Kolek and then like 25 chaos spawn, just haha. I don't know. And Trogdor, I think it was the first game of yours I ever casted. You full Wood Elf Vanguarded, but not behind someone. You did it to the side on Pillar of Bone, and that just like broke my brain, because I'm like, when you full Vanguard, you just go behind the person. That's what you do, and you're like, nah. I'm gonna put my guys at like a 90-degree angle to them. Why would you do that? I don't know. You like your Wood Elves. You're a funny guy. Definitely not double. 180 range is the high elf archer tier. Yeah, the range on the unit you're talking about would probably be like 135. Nice to see you well enough to stream again. We're getting there. All right. So yes, we are in phase 2. Get back into streaming slowly but surely. Yeah. I'm almost out of treatment. Almost. I'm currently in like I go in 3 times a week, and they like check my weight and make sure I'm still eating food and shit. So that's going okay. Once I'm done with that, it should be easier to stream, because right now my life schedule, not that you care, but I go to treatment 3 days a week and I work 4 days a week. So every day I'm doing something, which is why I've not been streaming too much. So today I got home from treatment and I had 4 hours before D&D, and I was like, sure, I can stream for a little bit of that. Why anxiety in the title, if I may ask? I haven't streamed for 4 months, and I've been busy fighting an eating disorder, so I have a little anxiety. A little anxiety in my body. But it's going fine. It's going fine. That's why the stream was pretty low-key and short and stuff. It's just, we're just seeing how it feels, seeing if it's a vibe. It was a vibe. Missed you all. All right, I'm leaving. Goodbye.